Welcome to my garden, Peggy.
Thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm so excited to take a
Yes,
walk around.
and what a beautiful day to have this little tour.
I walk up into your garden, and the first thing I encounter is running water, and I love it.
Yes, the sound of running water, especially this time of year, is very important. Gives a nice soothing feeling and instantly cools down
It
the
does.
temperatures.
Plus, we're in an urban garden here, and even the sound of water
Yes,
blocks out
kind of
many of the
blocks out
other
some of the
sounds.
noise.
It's
Exactly.
amazing. But I also noticed that you've got an array of flowers blooming mixed in with some foliage plants.
Yes, I think having a nice, diverse mixture of plants is kind of an important thing. The textures, bold textures against soft textures
Hmm.
gives more interest, and you don't necessarily have to have the balloons to support the plant.
No, and so many people forget that. You don't have to have a riot of color with flowers. You can have a soothing garden of foliage.
Exactly. I personally like architectural plants.
I can see with the begonias, which reminds me, you've got some natives infused with non-natives.
Yes, and again, very important, especially these times, is to start incorporating more natives into our gardens and our environment. We've got to help our ecosystems.
I couldn't say it any better. But the best part I see are these beautiful miniature landscapes.
Yes, my miniature landscapes, it's another little artsy thing and gives you the chance to incorporate more plants in a small setting.
That is fantastic. Plus, your collection of miniature plants
Yes,
can easily be managed and handled.
exactly.
So many people try to put them in their gardens and end up getting crushed or stepped on.
Yes, miniature plants can get lost in a full-size garden.
Truly
So just making a garden for them
is
works
very,
better.
yeah. I see another one up here. Can we take a look?
Sure.
Oh,
And
this one here has got a hardscaping to it.
yes, this one, with the miniature landscapes, you can go as far as making hardscaping. So you have a full-fledged miniature garden. So
Interesting.
nice patios, stone walls.
Mm-hmm. Makes it for a fun little setting to put
Exactly.
yourself into.
Exactly. Yes, you can always just pretend that you're sitting right there.
Absolutely. And then this one here, we're in the full shade, but we have sedum growing.
Yes, in this particular sedum, Ogon prefers more shady environments.
But I love the minute foliage next to the bold hosta here. It's just a wonderful, striking contrast.
Yes, thank you. And again, it goes back to just mixing different textures and creating interest.
And speaking of interest, you're using an oak leaf hydrangea to
Yes.
kind of hide and create mystery.
Exactly. This is a kind of a pass-through garden area, and using something like this will create mystery going into the backyard,
Oh, I
on
love
top
it.
of doing double duty of covering up your utilitarian areas.
Exactly. I love using plants to hide things and to say what's around that corner.
Mystery is always good.
Sarome, in this backyard, there's just so much to see, and you've even got some things flying out behind a screen over there.
Yes, behind the screen, I have 2 European honeybee hives. In our urban environment, they actually do really well, and we always need pollinators. They really do help the environment, and not just here, but all of our neighbors.
Yes, you probably don't even know they're here.
Exactly.
But I noticed that you've got some really interesting plants in here. Now, I know the dwarf, Ophiopogon here, and it's a cute little guy. But what else do you have growing in these containers?
One of my favorite plants to use in my miniature landscapes would be the Lizomachia minimatusa.
Which is so fun to say.
Yes, exactly.
It's
Say
a
that,
loosestrife.
say that 3 times fast.
Yes.
But it's a beautiful little ground cover that I use bunny ears a lot,
Mhm.
that you can use as a lawn, but it gets little lemon yellow flowers early in the spring
Yes, yes.
and turns a nice maroon color in the winter.
Oh, lovely. Nice little evergreen ground cover.
Exactly.
Yeah. But you've got some hostas as well.
Yes, and people don't know that you can get hostas in a miniature form.
Yes.
So using dwarf hostas along with the other miniature plants, you can really have some contrast in even a little miniature landscape.
Yes. And also, I love dwarf conifers,
Yes,
but
dwarf
they're really
conifers.
only so dwarf, but many people don't know that.
Yes, and read the labels.
Read those labels.
Yes, but dwarf and miniature conifers come in many different varieties. It's a trial and error with our weather, but it's worth the try. But I try to get ones that would say they max out at 1.5 feet
Hmm.
in about 10 years.
Yes. Those labels do mean in 10 years, not
Yes.
forever.
Exactly.
People need to realize that.
They still grow.
Yes. But these are perfect little worlds. And the urban landscape and even the suburban landscape are not perfect little worlds. So
No.
how do you adapt in urban environment here?
Well, it's interesting gardening in an urban environment because you have little control over what is here from large trees that are your neighbors
Mm-hmm.
on either side. So you've got to find the pockets, the microclimates of what you have, and then adapt those areas to what you plant.
Yes, I noticed in your front yard you have vegetables growing.
Yes, in front yard, that is where I get to take advantage of the sun. So front yard vegetables go, and I mix them in with the ornamental garden.
That's fantastic. But also back here, I see a lot of pots tucked here and there.
Yes, this garden has become it's going under sort of renovation. We're opening up the garden, so I'm shifting things to the borders and planting some new things. I don't like just throwing everything in, so sometimes I place out plants and just sit on it for a while, let it speak to you, and then you can shift things before it gets planted.
Exactly, to see is that really where I want to put that plant, and I can
Hmm.
easily move the pot rather than get the
Yeah,
shovel
and
back out.
and then even if you draw things on paper, a lot of times it's when you actually place it, you know you're going to have to move things. So this gives you the opportunity to keep moving things until it really works for you.
Truly, truly. Speaking of beautiful, you have a beautiful window box out front that just intrigues me. Saram, how did you put that together?
Thank you. Yes, that window box, it's cocoa liner.
Uh-huh.
So one easy trick that you can do is to first cover the inside with plastic. Use your recycled potting soil bags. Help it so it doesn't dry out as quick.
Right.
Best investment I've made this year is actually hooking up to an irrigation system. So I got drip tubing in those boxes. But with the cocoa liner, use small plants and then just plug hose and plant your plants all the way in.
Mhm.
And it gives it a full effect without having to have that creeper.
And it works like a charm and it's beautiful.
Yes, and it helps with the watering tremendously because it don't dry out as fast.
Saram, I want to thank you for having us. This has been so much fun to walk around and see your landscape and to learn so many tips. I particularly want to, though, thank you for introducing us to the world of miniature landscapes. So many of us do not have the space or a yard, and yet they can enjoy landscaping.
Exactly. You can always find space for any type of miniature landscape. Thank you for coming.